Okay, so we are back with part four, I think, part 4 or 5 of this first person shooter tutorial series. Now, I think I'm going to wrap this one up here because we're just going to get the full auto working. And then, because this has just been the beginner's guide sort of thing. And then the next one, we're going to go and we're going to do more things like weapon swapping, looking down the sights, maybe doing like a grenade throw, that sort of stuff. But I just wanted to do an introduction to the concepts first. So today, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up this swap. So the end of the last session, we quickly set up. I don't think I need that. Oh no, I do. What am I thinking? We quickly set up the event graph for the shooting, but we don't need that. Pretty sure we don't need that. So we can just shoot at the moment, and I deleted all that code that I did at the end of the last video because I wanted to do it all again and go through it. So, but I kept the variable full auto. Okay, so I've already gone through this, so I'm going to just show you the problems that I encountered. So if simply, what we want to do is we want to be able to switch between shooting one bullet and full auto. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a input for that to swap. So project settings, and I'm just going to set it to be 1. So if you press 1 once, we'll have a flip flop or a toggle on that. So go to inputs, create a new input, and we'll call it swap between. We'll just call it fire modes. Fire mode. That can be on. So if we just go to keyboard, and that can be on number 1. All right. So when I press number 1, we want something to happen. So we probably need another variable called single shot. Yeah. All right. So when we press the button, and we'll do the swapping between them in a minute. But when we press the button, and we are full auto, right? When we're in the full auto state, then this and that's not true. Then we just want to fire a normal bullet, right? So when that's not true, just do that. If it is true, we want another branch. I'm just going to put that in there. And again, I know it might seem like I'm doing this twice, but I find this works better and it organizes me better. So then if full auto is true, then we want to fire a bullet. And we want to delay. This time what we want to do is we want to check to see if firing is still true. So fire get, and we want a branch. We want to check to see if that is still true, and if it is still true, then we're just going to go right on back to here. Now you might just want to stick it in there, but we can check to see if we're still full auto, because you might be able to swap mid shot or something. So that will work, but the problem with it is if we just go and set full auto to be true, which it already is, and if we just play that now, you'll see that he does shoot, but he'll only deduct ammo when I click the button. In fact, he now is locked in because we're not at any point setting fire to be false. All right. So what we need to do is we need to go in and say that if pressed, right? So if released is true, and full auto is still true. So grab that and Control CV. So when we release, check to see if full auto is still true. And if it is still true, then set fire to be false. Okay, so if I hit compile now, hit play, and then let go, you stop shooting. But you can see now I'm only deducting ammo when I press once, which is not what we want. That works for normal fire, but not for full auto. So I had a bit of problem with this when I was practicing for this video, but there's actually a really simple solution. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a. So we're doing this reload here. Now this checks to see how many bullets we've fired, so that we know when to reload, and it deducts from the current ammo. So if we just Control C that and then delete it from here, and then create this as its own function, then we can place that wherever we want it to be. So if we go and create a new function, call it bullet count forward slash, we'll just call it bullet count. And all we need to do here is paste that in because we've already done the code. So compile that. And now we can place this function wherever we like. So after we fire a bullet, we now want to do the bullet count as well. And here as well. So while this is happening, we want to do a bullet count as well. Okay, that way we don't have to go through this fire bullet event. We broke it down into 2 events. Now if I hit compile and play, now it deducts the ammo. Now it's not perfectly in time with the shot, but you can play around with that. Okay. But we do also have a slight problem here in that it's only firing the line trace. I didn't notice this. So maybe what we need to do is break the line trace down into its own function. So let's give that a go. So let's have a look. So fire bullet. Oh no, that should be fine. I'm going to try it. Control C. And then line trace. Spell that right. So line trace and then V. Hit compile. Go back to the event graph. And then when we fire the bullet, and then do the bullet count, so we do this in the same order, then we want to do the line trace. Now, if you just want to fire one bullet, you don't have to do this because I'm only having to break this down because I want it to loop on itself over and over again. I'm sure there's a better way of doing this as well, but this is the way I found it works for me. Grab my line trace here, and then I know I'm going to constantly be getting my line trace. It's not just going to fire off once. That should work. Yeah, now I'm line tracing every time when I hold it down as well. Okay, let's do the switch. Okay, so let's just move this down. That's what that whole thing now. So the switch wants to be, what did I call the event? I totally forgot what I called the event. So I'll have a look, quick look. Inputs. Fire mode. Okay. So go to here and type fire. Click anywhere, fire mode. So, and then I want to toggle. No, it's not a toggle, it's called a flip flop. When I press it once, it'll do A. And when I press it the second time, I'll do B. And what I want to do is I want to set full auto to be true and set single shot to be false. And then we just reverse that for here. So that's now false, that's now true. And I believe that should do it. Now we just need to do here the checks. Okay, so check, we're doing that there. Check to see full auto. Now we need to be at, so single shot. So what we could probably do here is have a branch, so CV, and then we are checking to see if single shot is true. just to double check that that's going to work. So that comes off the false into there. So now if I press 1, also turn full auto off and single shot on. So it's over here and compile it. All right, so when I start the game, I should only be able to fire once. Yeah, which is right. And then I hit 1, and now I'm in full auto. Okay, so that is the sort of beginner's guide to setting up a first-person shooter. In the next one, in the next first-person shooter tutorial series, we'll go over this in much more depth. So we'll be adding all the stuff that I spoke about earlier, like iron sights, multiple weapons, grenades, perhaps. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Destiny recently, so that's the sort of thing that I want to recreate. But we'll be going into it in a much more detailed look and looking at all the different factors of first-person shooter. This is really just a very simple setup. Okay, so I'll see you in the next one. If I can turn off my recording. Yes, there we go. See you in the next one.